and welcome to War Productions. I am Nick.
And I'm Evan.
And today is a WORTCAST on some of our pieces of media that have influenced us and our tastes and what we love and see in media in art that we enjoy.
Yeah, I kind of had this idea, not because we don't have a lot of personality on the channel, but I felt like we need to do something kind of said who we are. Well, anyways, we're gonna kind of say 5 things that kind of define who we are, as people. Things that kind of and I when I say this, I don't mean things that we love.
But they are things that we love, though.
There are things we love, but things that not necessarily that we love, but define us. Something that you kind of aspire to be, or something that you listened to and it changed your life, or did, or whatever. Kind of to give a spoiler, I guess, a little bit for later when we say listen to. But I'm very excited because I think I'll start us off.
Go ahead.
I'll start us off. I want to start us off with an album. Don't Panic by All Time Low.
I knew it was going to be an all-time low album.
Me and Nick have been friends for a while, and he knows that my favorite artist of all time is All Time Low. It is, and it's not the most highbrow genre is pop punk. But
are you kidding me?
But Don't Panic is one of those records that kind of stands the test of time. It was in an era of All Time Low's history where they were not signed to a label.
Really?
At the time, they weren't signed on a label.
When did that album come out?
2012, I think.
They still weren't signed to a label?
No, they were just dropped from a label because they were. Before that, it was an album called. Oh God.
Was that the album with Shameless? No.
No, it was the album with.
It has Motionless. It was that album?
No, it's I Feel Like Dancing.
Okay.
That album with I Feel Like Dancing. They were signed to Interscope.
Okay.
Interscope kind of fucked them for some reason, and they were dropped from the label. They weren't what Interscope wanted, kind of thing. They were trying to make them the next Hot Shell Ray, right?
Yeah, that
Hot
makes
Shell Ray
sense.
was super big at the time.
I would more think, wasn't Paramore signed to?
Paramore was signed to Fueled by
Ramen. That's
right. So after all those years, and then this album comes out, and it's just super punk rocky. It's got singles. Quit fucking squeaking. You can hear it in the podcast.
The camera's probably picked up.
It was fucking ridiculous. Anyways, it came out in a time where I was going through a lot. I was in high school when that album came out, and I was kind of just discovering music for the first time. And that's the first record that came out while I was discovering music. So it kind of defined an era. Not only that, singles like For Baltimore, Somewhere in Neverland, Backseat Serenade, these are fucking bangers. That whole album, I don't think misses at all. If you love pop punk, gotta give Don't Panic a listen. And Don't Panic As Long As Now is good, but I prefer the original. With that being said, Nicholas.
Okay, so I'm wearing this old raggedy shirt that I typically don't like to wear that much, that has holes and shit in it, but I'm wearing it for a reason today. So when I was a kid, so my dad very much was obsessed with classic rock, right? My dad grew up in the 70s with classic rock, your Led Zeppelins, your Rolling Stones, your Beatles, your Van Halen, right? And I grew up with it too, right? I grew up listening to it, I grew up loving it. When I was a teenager, I was the most insufferable, pretentious asshole when it came to old music, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
And I didn't listen to anything new because it was obviously terrible, and I regret that looking back on it.
It's kind of funny because we have a little bit of a Venn diagram there, because my dad, not raised in the 70s, but grew up on 70s music, Supertramp shit like that, or your Led Zeppelin shit like that, those hair metal bands. It's so funny that we have a little bit of overlap there. But continue, I apologize.
So, anyway, this album, I discovered this album. This is Boston by Boston, Boston's first album. I discovered this album when I was 13 years old. And for those who know, this has hits that have defined a generation, More Than a Feeling, Hitch a Ride, Peace of Mind, right? Songs that everyone knows.
These are generational.
Exactly. This album changed rock music forever. It was an approach by people that instead of writing rock music in the garage, were people who went to school to understand music in the deepest sense, people who were sound engineers and created a rock album. Mm-hmm. That's what Boston was. It's very technical, it's very advanced like that. Anyway, besides the point. I heard this album for the first time when I was 13 years old. And I'll never forget hearing Foreplay Long Time, which is one of my favorite songs of all time. And I think everyone, every music fan, especially every guy music fan, has that 9-minute song that they just love. That fucking epic that is etched into their brain. And for me, it's Foreplay Long Time, right? And there's a ton of right answers to this question. I think Riders in the Storm by The Doors is awesome. I think The Tragedy of Ella Fitzgerald is great. Like even like modern stuff. Like I think what's the Green Day song?
Jesus of Suburbia.
Jesus of Suburbia. I think it's another one to say.
Knights of Sidonia from.
Knights of Sidonia is fucking awesome.
That's also a great record if you haven't listened to it. Fucking AWOL Nation's opening record. It's called Megalonic Symphony. Fuck, that record is good. Go listen to that too. But continue. Sorry.
Anyway, so I heard that song and it was just like one of those moments where just like. I felt like a door opened in my brain. And there was a subconscious thing that opened that said, I will spend the rest of my life trying to feel the way I felt listening to this. And with that, my journey of music started, of listening to music, of trying to find something that made me feel the same way that this album did the first time I listened to it. And that journey continues to this day. It very much inspired me to get involved in music, to get obsessed with music, to make music a part of my everyday experience. I think there's some people, very few people, who just don't understand music, they don't get it, and I think for them, maybe they just didn't have that experience, that just like my eye was opened, and I have spent the rest of my life trying to feel the same way that I felt the first time I listened to this album. It's incredible. You know, I listen to it nowadays, and I kind of feel, I laugh because I'm like, man, I was such a pretentious douchebag when I was a teenager.
Yeah, when you're a teenager and your favorite album's fucking Boston by Boston, you know?
Right? And it's
like, oh yeah, my favorite album is Random Access Memories by Daft Punk. You know what I mean? Great record, by the way.
It is a great record,
you know,
yeah.
like, you are pretentious for saying that.
No, I thought you were gonna say my favorite record is Kid A by Radiohead.
Or Kid A. Oh. Insert a Radiohead album here.
Insert Radiohead album here.
It doesn't matter if it's Kid A or OK Computer or whatever, you know.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
I hate it. But anyway, this album was incredibly influential to me, and just like growing up and learning and discovering music and slowly branching out my taste from this album, right? Like this is where music started for me, was Boston by Boston. And when talking about media that has influenced me and changed me, it was the first fucking thing I thought of, and it had to be brought up.
100%. I'm going to move on to my next one, and this is one that you shouldn't be shocked by. And some of us fans who have been listening to the show or even know what we're talking about and probably know, it's probably what I should use as my microphone today. It's a little game called Halo Reach.
Hey.
A little game called Halo Reach. I don't know if you guys have ever played Halo Reach, but it's one of the best fucking games I've ever played in my entire goddamn life. This game is so good. Yes, the armor lock is cheating. Yes, a lot of this shit is dumb. But, like, what Bungie did with their last foray into the Halo universe is fucking special. First off, it's spoilers for the story. It's depressing as shit.
Objective Survive.
Objective Survive is one of the coolest last missions ever.
That is insane. I'll never forget that shit.
Listen, it's crazy from going from the highs of Halo 3's last mission to the lows and kind of desperation that Reach has.
I told you my story with the Halo 3 last mission, right?
Oh, I think you did.
So I'll never forget.
Let's talk about it.
I was in college and I was playing Halo 3 online co-op in the Master Chief Collection with a buddy of mine, and we both dropped edibles, right? So the edible is kicking in while it's happening, and you know the last mission of Halo 3 is the Warthog chase when the platforms are falling off.
You got Arbiter on the gunner, you know,
and it's hard as fuck, right? Like
it's nuts, especially when you're on Legendary.
And we were on Legendary, and I'll never forget my buddy. He died like 15 minutes ago, so it was just me and the Warthog, right? It was just fucking me, right? And so I am sweating bullets. I have them on the mic. You can do it, Nick! You can make it! The edible's kicking in. My fingers are getting numb. Because this is probably a 100 milligram edible. This shit was crazy. And my fingers are getting numb. I'm like, I'm not gonna make it. You can do it! You can fucking make it! And I'll never forget me hitting the Pelican and getting in it. And I'm like, dude, I can't feel my feet. Don't drive high, kids.
This is a cautionary tale.
This is a cautionary. But I made it, and I finished the mission, and I'll never forget that. Honestly, for me, I love Halo Reach. I think I love Halo 3 more.
That's valid. That's valid.
But I do love Halo Reach.
Here's the thing for why that's on there as opposed to other shooters that I love. Because I love myself some Black Ops 2.
Of course.
Are they coming back? That's going to be the only thing I play for a while. Black Ops 2, I love that series. I love a lot of series. I could put Minecraft in this list.
Who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't, really? But, I chose Halo Reach because it is a devastating story with great characters, and that's mainly why I put it on here, because I just love a great tale well told. And yeah, it defined an era of my life, because I remember a point in my life where I would come home every day instead of doing my homework or doing chores or whatever. I would sit there and play fucking Reach with my boys.
Dude, it's
for
time to
hours.
Get on SWAT, dude. Get on SWAT.
Yeah, you would get on SWAT, and Nick knows how good I am at fucking SWAT.
Woo, better than me.
I don't think he's ever won.
No, fuck no.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not good at games. No, I think one of the greatest joys in life, and I did not do it. I'm a little younger than you, and I know it's trashy to say, but I did it for Halo 4. I think one of the greatest experiences ever is online co-op with one of your boys. Like, you're on the couch like me and you are right now, but you're co-op online in Halo. It is one of the greatest fucking joys ever. Right? Couch co-op online in Halo is one of the greatest joys ever. And that's just something that I don't think I've ever felt again, is being...
Nothing's more fun than watching your friend, your brother, your whatever, getting fucking obliterated by a gravity hammer in Reach. You're playing grip ball, he's got the ball, he's trying to make it past everybody, but all of a sudden you just watch him go boom.
There's nothing like playing CTF and you fucking die and your homie right next to you picks up the flag and you're in the respawn screen. Go, 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 go!
I'm covering you! You're making it, goddammit! It just defined an era of gaming for me that can never be touched. Ever again. I don't think it will. Because I just think, with Discord and shit like that, there's a level of interaction there that's just gone. So, shout out to the company that made It Takes Two and Split Fiction, because those games are awesome, and making you play with your friend is an excellent way to do things. So, anyway.
This is the test of your relationship, if it'll work. If y'all can play Split Fiction together, y'all make it.
Yeah, for real. There's some missions in that game where you're like, what is fucking happening?
You played Split Fiction?
I played through most of it.
Okay.
But then, to get a little personal, then I broke up with my ex.
Oh,
We were playing it together, and then after that happened, I never came back to it. I still own it. It's a great game.
It is a great game.
It's fucking awesome. But, what's your next one?
You want me to talk about the movie you want to talk about, or one of my TV shows?
Do whatever you want.
I do whatever I want. So okay.
I'll pick a movie. My next one's a movie, for sure.
Okay. I'll pick a movie. So, I think everyone in life picks a major fandom of some sort, right? Be it Harry Potter, be it Lord of the Rings, be it Batman or Spider-Man or Marvel shit. For me, and a lot of people, it was Star Wars, right? And
I see where this is going.
And I really sat with myself and figured out, I wanted to pick Star Wars: The Clone Wars, right? Because this is my favorite show of all time. This is my fucking goat. Its day will come where I make a massive retrospective on this whole thing, because I fucking love it. This probably isn't even in camera, but regardless of the point.
It's a poster of the final season of Clone Wars.
I wanted to talk about Star Wars: The Clone Wars, but I knew my love for Star Wars didn't start there, right? And I'll never forget, and I think every dork has an experience of watching Star Wars as a kid, right? I was 8 years old when I sat down and watched the first 6 Star Wars movies. And I always say, your favorite Star Wars movie is either A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, or you're wrong.
This is a take that we both agree on.
It's a valid take.
There will be a day where we will do either a podcast kind of thing where we rank our Star Wars stuff. But we both probably will agree that our top 2, understandably, are A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. And if you switch between the two, it doesn't matter to me.
And for me, every year I come back to it because it's such a masterpiece of world building and just giving you a little taste to your imagination to pull you into the universe. And then it's episode 4, A New Hope. A movie
Banger.
that turns 50 next year, which is insane, that truly stands the test of time, right? Like, I love looking at Star Wars purely through the view of A New Hope. It gives you this beautiful taste of everything this universe beholds, everything that's in it. It makes your mind wander in a way that very few things do, right? The way that it's written, the way that it's portrayed, right, allows that to happen. And I speak for myself and so many other people who were entranced by what A New Hope did, and it's just how perfect of a movie it is. It's a stupid, silly, campy 70s movie that definitely was not made for the reason to make this massive universe. It reads as somewhat of a cult classic almost, because you can tell this movie was not made to inspire this massive universe, but somehow it all works. It's a hard movie to surmise because it's not that complicated, right? It's a very, very, very simple movie. I've even had a lot of people tell me they don't like Star Wars because Star Wars is stupid. But I think in a lot of ways, I love Star Wars because Star Wars is stupid, and I think it could say a lot within its simple concept of good versus evil, like with anti-authoritarian shit and all that. I felt like I needed to talk about Star Wars. It's the fandom that I love the most of the time, regrettably.
Right. As a Star Wars fan, we hate Star Wars fans.
As a Star Wars fan, we hate Star Wars. The reality is most Star Wars is bad, which sucks.
Yeah, this is something I've said to you a couple times, and I'll bring it up now. Is that like it is crazy that movie is so good. It spawned a fandom where most of the projects under that fandom are pretty bad.
It's just
arguably. You know what I mean?
How easy that universe is to build out in your head, and how much it can really just impress on the people, right? And I think that's what it speaks to. I never really felt anything like being an autistic 8-year-old and watching Star Wars for the first time and just absolutely falling in love with it, right? And obsessing over it to this day, where I watch every single Star Wars project that comes out, and I play every single Star Wars game that comes out. It's like, it's the fandom I chose, right? And
sometimes the fandom doesn't choose you, or you don't choose the fandom.
The fandom chooses you.
chooses you. Star Wars is one of those franchises that kind of does, right? They kind of bounce off of this here. There's nothing like hearing John Williams score for the first time, opening up credits.
No,
you know
there's nothing like that. And I think that's one of those things that there are some things that are just undebatable. That movie has the greatest score of all time, and I really don't think there's a debate. Like, I don't think there's a debate to be had that movie has a great. And it's funny. I watched an interview with Mark Hamill, and I'll never forget. He said that I'll never forget the first time I heard the score for New Hope. I was driving back from a shoot, and I don't know who I was with. I think my agent, and he had a cassette of the score. And he goes, "You want to hear it?" He goes, I didn't know. I expected to hear a bunch of bleeps, bloops, and Star Trek shit. He puts it in, and I heard it, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Right? Like, it's something that's insane. No movie has that. No movie has the massive Star Wars crawl and just the massiveness and the gargantuanness of John Williams' score. We all would run around and sing it to ourselves as kids, right? Like, it's still something I think about every day.
It's crazy that he continued to cook. You know what I mean?
And he's in his 90s. It's
right.
Amazing that he's still doing it. But anyways, I could talk about Star Wars forever. I felt like I need to say something about Star Wars. And A New Hope is not where my love started for Star Wars. My love started for Star Wars. It's back here. It's my copy of Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, which I'm sure for a lot of people my age, they'd say the same thing.
Yeah.
But I would say the one love for Star Wars that prevails, that I watched for 8 times, and when I watched when I was 8 and I loved it, and I watch it now that I'm 26, year after year after year, that I still love it every year, is A New Hope.
That's honestly valid. To go to something that isn't actually very old.
Okay.
But has changed my life in weird ways that I didn't even expect. So, last year, a little film came out, directed by one James Gunn, of St. Louis fame, by the way. He grew up to read it from SLU. Superman 2025.
You guys think it's Superman?
Okay. People don't know this. The fans definitely don't know this. I don't know if I talk about this a lot with you. I fucking love cape shit.
I know you fucking love cape shit.
I love
dog.
cape shit. I love cape shit. And I will be the first to admit that, yes, Superman can be kind of overplayed. And sometimes Superman can look like a Boy Scout and be kind of boring. But that's not... The best Superman stories are told interesting ways. The question is, how does Superman react in a situation when somebody else is in danger, right? Like, how does Superman juggle all these things? Because ultimately, it's a story about a human who's overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And Superman 2025 does that so well. And nothing's more cool than kindness is punk rock to me. You know what I mean? Like,
I like that. I like that.
yeah, like, in a world where people are hateful, spiteful, fucking dreary-ass people, what is it about kindness that's just so hard to do? So, like, when somebody who's infallibly kind to a fault, why not strive to be that kind of person?
You've been thinking about that bar for a while, haven't you?
Kindness is punk rock?
Yeah, that's been in your head for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, here's the thing, and then kind of go back to that breakup that I was talking about earlier. This movie came out right after it happened. So, you know, I was kind of in a low spot. I didn't know what I was doing. I needed to, like, escape. And there was nothing more escaping than watching David Cornsweet fly for the first time. Seeing him on honestly, the first shot of him in that movie is him on the ground, bloodied, and, like, calling for help. And it spoke to me for some reason. Maybe it's because I was in a point where, like, I was kind of beaten down, bloodied, and kind of low. So seeing the strongest man ever need help felt freeing for me. Even though I know I'm an emotionally very intelligent person, I could always ask for help.
Yeah.
I could always stand my hand out and be like, hey, I need this. But to see the Man of Steel,
the most powerful man
ever, basically a god, ask for help, just felt nice. And, like, the whole movie continues this idea. Superman gets beat up by the Hammer of Baravia. He's stuck in the ground. A citizen of Metropolis comes up and helps him. He goes up later and he asks for Thor's help, the robot. He asks for Lois' help. He asks for Mr. Terrific's help. And it ultimately culminates into the fact that he is a human being through and through. Yes, he's Kryptonian. Like, his heritage is Kryptonian. But he was never raised on Krypton.
Yeah.
He was raised on Earth. He's just a guy.
He's just a guy. He's a guy who can shoot lasers out of his eyes and fly everywhere, right?
Yeah, those are, like, whatever. But, like, you know, we all are.
Those are just whatever.
Those aren't what makes Superman interesting. Superman is interesting when he is proposed with the question of how does he deal with it? How does he respond in a situation that feels hopeless? So, like, when Superman is faced with characters like fucking Doomsday and Darkseid, I kind of roll my eyes because I'm like, I really don't care. Or, like, in Justice League, he fights Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf is fucking boring. I don't care. Superman 2025 is so interesting because he is faced with adversaries that are challenging his morals more than they are challenging his physique. Lex Luthor is not stronger than him. He can never best him physically. But Lex Luthor constantly is there trying to test his ideas. So that's why I love Superman so much. And to be honest, there are better cape shit out there. You know, there's The Dark Knight. Or my personal favorite, like, actual comic book movie is The Suicide Squad.
That's
I know. I'll probably do a video on it, on why that movie's so fucking good. But, like...
You know what my favorite cape shit movie is, right?
Is it The Dark Knight? No.
No.
Oh, hold on. Is it a Marvel?
No.
Or is it DC?
It's technically Marvel.
Technically?
Yes. It's Logan.
Oh, yeah, Logan's good.
Yeah. But Logan's my favorite cape shit movie.
Yeah, that's so good. But, like, Superman speaks to me because I want to be like Superman one day. You know? He's saying something that most cape shit doesn't do anymore. Is that, like, you have to be a good person.
You want to have all the power in the world but still be in touch with your humility.
It's not about the power. It's never been about the power. What
It's about how you wield it. It's about the respect you give it.
No, it's not about any of that. It's about maybe not having power, but extending a hand. Doesn't matter if it's Superman or Malik, the guy who runs the bodega. You know, that's what that movie does. And that's why that movie is so good to me. It's because it has this layer of like, you don't have to be Superman to help people and be a good person. You have to just do good. Despite everything being stacked against you. And yeah, that's why Superman's the fucking shit. Right. This honestly kind of spawned the whole idea for this video.
So, oh, really? That's where it came from?
Yeah, because I want to rewatch Superman for like the 7th time.
So, Evan, what music genre is my fucking obsession?
This is like Nick's favorite genre. It's called taking a printer and smashing it against the keyboard. AKA hyperpop.
For those who know ball, my favorite genre of music right now, and for the past few years, has been hyperpop. It is the cutting edge of making pop music fun again, in its own crazy, autistic, experimental way, pulling from inspirations far and wide, depending on so many different artists. And I've listened to hyperpop for 4 years now, at least like the way that I have been. And there's one album that kind of marked the point of like when this genre became my hyperfixation.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
You'll love it. For those who know ball, Hypochondriac by Breakins.
So good.
I'd known hyperpop before Hypochondriac by Breakins when it dropped in 2022. I had known 100 Gex, I had known Underscores and Jane Remover and so many of these popular artists right now, even before they were huge, right? But it was still very much in my rotation of everything else. It wasn't the thing that I transfix upon as I do now. But then I heard Hypochondriac. And I speak for a lot of people that you hear these sounds in your head, right? And you don't really imagine them ever existing in art, in a place, right? You can see them and visualize them in your head, but you don't expect to ever hear them. These fusions, these mixes of noises and sounds. And I always imagined the mania of hyperpop mixed with the dourness and the somberness of Midwest emo. That fusion that feels so antithetical, that feels so different, how it would mesh and work. Hypochondriac by Breakins is the idea of taking the manicness and the mania of hyperpop, but fusing it with these math rock riffs that kind of gives it an element of somberness. And the whole album is a concept album talking about narcissism, talking about your inner monologue and how it responds, a narcissist's inner monologue and how it responds to the wider world. It's pretentious and it's very deep, and sometimes I think it gets off to itself. But it creates a sound that is of its own. Breakins' voice is unlike any other voice. It's, you hear all these hyperpop artists with their super produced and
the auto-tune voice.
Yeah, and like a lot of it kind of blends together after a while, but Breakins' voice always stands apart. It's impossible to describe, right? Like it has almost this high tenor to it that makes it sound so different. You hear him featured on other hyperpop songs, and he just sounds so different, right? And that album to me, I remember I heard it for the first time and I was like, whoa, like this is something I have imagined for so long, but I can never put it to words. And I'm the kind of person when I listen to stuff, I always compare it to stuff. I'm like, oh, it's like this and this and this and this. Hypochondriac is one of those albums that I'm like, I can't compare it to anything. It is completely of its own. It has influences, as I was talking about, with the Midwest emo influence fused with hyperpop and glitchcore, right? But when creating that sound, it becomes something so unique and different. And if you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. If you feel like music is stale and you haven't heard something in a long time that really just changed you, that really just wowed you and surprised you, listen to Hypochondriac by Breakins. It will change your life. And it's funny, I remember when I showed Evan Hyperpop, I'll never forget. He looks at me and goes, "Dude, this sounds like breakits." I'm like, "Dude, breakits is hyperpop."
It's so funny because like I didn't put to words that genre yet, right? And to kind of go back to break-ins here, I love break-ins. I particularly love that album because it feels like a cry for help, obviously, right? And that's intentional. And I love that album because it reminds me of another favorite album of mine, which is The Black Parade. Obviously,
Really?
I love The Black Parade.
Well, I know you like The Black Parade, but why do you find it similar?
Because I think it's just the style of it, you know? Like, Gerard Way is one of those people that always constantly sounds like he's on the verge of an emotional breakdown, except for Danger Days. Danger Days is, like, crazy. But, love that. But, like, that, because to me, in my head, The Black Parade is an album where it's like a character, and that character is dying, obviously. Like, everybody kind of knows that. The character is dying, and he's kind of crying. He's trying to figure it out. He's trying to get through this.
He has so many regrets. He never fell in love, right?
Right, exactly, you know. And the cancer's finally getting to him, so his hair's fucking falling out. And, you know, and there's this other inner monologue in him that's just like, fucking pissed, you know? And that's kind of where Break-Ins does too, where like he's got this monologue, obviously, where he's talking about his narcissism and stuff like that, but like this inner monologue is so impactful. And you gotta listen to that album basically from start to finish. You can skip around if you listen to it a lot, but like there's something different about sitting there in the dark with your headphones on, just listening to this album.
Maybe with the help of some ganja.
Maybe with the help of some of the devil's lettuce. But, like, it's one of those albums you really don't need it to, but, like, it might lead to an emotional breakdown, but at the same time, it might help you. Like, if you're in a place where you're like, I need just connection, you know, this is an album for you.
And the beats, the way that album was produced and the beats on it, like,
fucking sick.
Hearing 5G for the first time and hearing this just bouncy, organic 808 kind of clashing almost with this Midwest guitar riff and how it perfectly bounces off itself. It's like the best sweet and savory dish you've ever had, right? Two flavors that feel so different, but somehow the whole thing works together.
It's like
right?
Soul Taco.
It's like Soul Taco.
St. Louis people, you don't know what I'm talking about. Let's fucking go. Or in Chicago. But anyways,
Midwest people.
Midwest people.
But yeah, no, like, and I'll never forget walking around the Mizzou campus and listening to Hypochondriac by Break-Ins, and I listened to it again and again and again. 5G, Venus Flytrap, and there was another one. Stung.
Stung is so good. Caffeine.
We're all in my top 5 that year. And 5G was my number 1, and Break-Ins was my number 2 artist that year. And I think that was 2023. And it's like, that album just sticks with me. And Break-Ins, you're never going to watch this video, but make new music.
Come back, please.
Please. The world needs you. I know the world does not deserve you, but the world needs you.
It real does.
We have missed your twink ass. Make some music.
It's beautiful. It is, like, honestly, that album is so fucking cool. It is one of those things where, like, it's an album, I'll kind of end my 2 cents on it here, but it's an album that I found even in my spheres as, like, a pop punk kid, which is crazy, because, like, hyperpop never breached that fold until then. Then all of a sudden, the floodgates fucking open, and everybody wants to do hyperpop. Look at fucking Water Parks at this point. They're basically a hyperpop band. So, like, yeah. Hypochondriac's fucking sick.
It's so cool.
To kind of move on to my next thing, it's another film. The last few were actually films.
I kind of figured.
Yeah. I'm a cinema guy. I can't help it. Movies kind of, like, just hit me in waves, right? Like, and there are certain movies that hit me in certain times. Obviously, I just talked about Superman, which is the latest one in a kind of wave of great films that, like, inspired me. The one before that kind of, like, spoke to me, and it kind of also was part of why I wanted to do this, is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
That's your favorite movie of all time, isn't it?
One of my favorites. The last one is my favorite movie.
Okay.
To kind of spoil it. But Everything Everywhere is a movie I kind of bring up a lot because it inspired me to make movies again. For those who don't know, I've been kind of eyeballing scripts and stuff for a while, and I kind of want to write a screenplay. And you guys might even see it on the channel. I don't know. We'll figure that out when we get there. But Everything Everywhere is one of those movies that, at the time, spoke to me very deeply, right? It's a movie about connection and, like, where those connections go and how you can affect everything around you, you know? So, like, Evelyn, the main character, Michelle Yeoh, she is so separated from everything. That's why she sucks at everything. She's so separated and, like, but she also has the possibility of anything. She could do anything. She could be anything because she sucks at everything.
And I guess that's an interesting turnaround. That, like, if you're not good at anything, then you can do anything. That's an interesting one.
Okay, imagine this: you're at rock bottom.
Yeah.
Where do you go from rock bottom? You can only go up. Exactly. But it's not just that. It's about, like, your connection with the people that you've affected. You know, the movie. The premise. Have you seen it?
No. We should watch it sometime.
We should watch it sometime. I own it in multiple different ways. It's ultimately about the connection between. I won't go too into spoilers. The connection between yourself and the others around you. It's not just about, like, yourself, because that's not really what it's about. It's about, like, how you affect others and how you spread joy, which kind of leads from Superman, right? How you spread happiness and, like, humanity and such like that, and how you connect to these people. Like, Michelle Yeoh has to find ways to connect with her daughter. She's got to find ways to connect with Jamie Lee Curtis, Ki Hong Quinn, like, these characters that, like, maybe in other less well-written screenplays, the fact that they don't kind of, like, change or do anything says a lot to what this movie does so well. Is such a great focus, and it hit me at a time where, again, I was kind of depressed and I kind of needed something to kind of, like, turn my brain off, right? I needed to distract me from the world.
It's an interesting choice for that.
Well, I was like, at the time I was like, I really want to watch a movie. I want to watch something new, kind of fresh. Everybody's talking about this Everything Everywhere movie. Let's watch that. I rented it for like $5, and I was a little late to the train because I saw it later that year, right? So it was like 2024 when it came out.
Yeah.
And I kind of watched it late 2024 leading up to the Oscars more than anything. And then when that movie came out, I was like, this movie's kind of fucking sweet. Like this is the greatest movie I've ever seen at the time. Like, for a while, I was like, this is my favorite movie. It changed my brain chemistry, and, like, that last 20 minutes made me cry essentially all the way through of that movie. It's just fucking magic. It does cinema so well. It is a movie where you can cry for the last 20 minutes of the movie, but also at the same time you were sitting there 20 minutes before that laughing because there was a butt plug in some dude's ass. Like, it's crazy. It's one of those movies that, like, is insanely fucking weird. So, like, comment some weird movies down below. Like Hundreds of Beavers and shit like that. I love movies like that. Those movies are weird. But
you know ball when it comes to weird ass movies.
I love weird movies. I need them to be freaking obscenely weird. But Everything Everywhere kind of broke that broke that damn wall for me. So it just kind of let the floodgates open up, and I'll never be the same because of it.
All right. Bathroom break for me. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm alright.
All right. No, are you, like, done with talking about Everything Everywhere all at once? Okay. Hey, you can keep talking about it without me here, but I will be back.
He's peeing.
I'm
gonna say obscene things about him.
Oh, please. Do tell.
Now that he's gone,
Got a good nap in?
I'm gonna tell you both.
out. I thought you were
I'm
fucking
telling you. It's funny because it reminds me how it's crazy. Oh, I'm gonna check my phone. Out here. I said only obscene things about you.
What levels of depravity did you speak about, man?
I ended up just checking my phone.
Okay, so
this is our last things. Number 5.
No, this was 4.
What is your 4?
This is my 4.
Oh, because I started, I forgot.
Yes, this is my 4. So I almost didn't want to put this here, and this one might surprise you. It's one of those things that, like, I just think about it all the fucking time. And it's like, I watched it relatively recently, even though it dominated the 2010s in terms of, like, mainstream success. My relationship with fantasy has always been interesting. I know
where this is going.
The Hobbit's my favorite book of all time, not what I'm going to talk about. And I love The Lord of the Rings, but I never really connected that much with the fantasy franchise. And I remember I had a friend of mine try to show me the show when I was in high school, and I just didn't connect with it then. But then I watched it in college, and I became obsessed. I fucking love Game of Thrones, dude.
Right then, yeah. When you said fantasy, I was like, oh, it's Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones is one of those things where it has some of the greatest characters of all time. Like, you look at someone like Tyrion Lannister, right? He's such just a well of a character, right? Where, like, he's endlessly cravenous and full of depravity. He fucks who he wants, he drinks all the time, but he's interesting because at his core, what he wants is for the people to be happy and healthy and secure. He serves the realm in service to the people, right? And not to himself. Which is really interesting considering what he is. It creates this character that's super deep. Like, you can tell in his action what he's trying to do is that he wants to protect the people, the small folk, as they call them in A Song of Ice and Fire. But
he's talking about the book.
Well, it's what they call the universe. But yeah. And he's just an incredibly deep and interesting character. And Game of Thrones is full of that. And it's one of those shows, like, as someone with ADHD, like, I can't watch a sitcom. Sitcoms bore the fucking shit out of me. I need something that's deep, that has so many plot lines, that intersect and change and combine, and that's what Game of Thrones is it's just, there's an A, B, C, D, E, F, G plot, and they're all happening at once, and they're all working to flesh out this massive world across multiple continents. Now, everything interconnects and combines and stuff, and I will say it, when Game of Thrones is in its bag, it's the greatest thing ever put to TV. And I'm biased, obviously, but, like, seasons 1 through 5 of Game of Thrones is some of the greatest TV ever put to air. And I think if they were able to stick the landing, it would be remembered as the greatest TV show of all time. And nothing captured the mainstream and the stigma like Game of Thrones did in the 2010s. Even though I wasn't part of it, like, I remember it. I remember the hype. I remember the obsession. I remember people loving it. And I think it's just because of the characters and the way the world is fleshed out. And I'm getting even more invested in it. Now I'm reading the books. And House of the Dragon, new season comes out on Sunday, and I know you guys can't see that, but on my computer, I literally have House of the Dragon up right the fuck now, because I was watching it before I even started this podcast. But, yeah, no, it's just, I love all of the characters. I love the Starks, Jon Snow and Sansa Stark. I love Littlefinger. I love all these characters, right? No one's a good guy. Everyone has their own motives and plays, right? And I think to surmise Game of Thrones, this is a surmise quote from Littlefinger, is chaos is a ladder. And that can surmise all of Game of Thrones, is that it is a constant grapple for power, and all of these players on the board constantly screaming and jostling for position frantically all at once all across the world. And that politics and that intrigue just stimulates the hell out of me and drives me. And I know for a lot of people, they can't do it. It bores the shit out of them. They just don't care, right? It's a lot to keep track of. There's a lot of names that don't make any sense, right? But for me, I fucking love it. It's what I need. And I have watched all of Game of Thrones, even those last 2 terrible seasons, twice. And I've rewatched House of the Dragon for the new season, and I can feel myself wanting to rewatch it a 3rd time. I wouldn't call it my favorite show of all time, but it is a top 5 for me, and it's just one that just occupies my thoughts at all fucking times. And when it's like one of those things for me that, like, when I start talking about shows and media, I come back to how they did in Game of Thrones. And I know that means it really did something to me, where I'm comparing shit to Game of Thrones and how it was done in Game of Thrones, right? Like, that's how I know when I'm using it as the example thing, I know it's really done something to me.
Right. That's kind of how I am. And it's not to kind of spoil things for later, but it's how I am with Cowboy Bebop. If an anime is not compelling me like how Cowboy Bebop did in this first episode. It probably is not going to hold my attention. You know, it's just one of those. It is a tentpole show. You know,
Yeah.
It is a tentpole show, and nothing created a zeitgeist around it like Game of Thrones did.
No.
Which is crazy. You know, like everything stopped, and like the fact that it ended the way it did obviously is shocking. But like, I almost have to like commemorate the writers of that show because like, and I haven't seen it. Don't get me wrong. But like, how do you end a show like that when the hype is so high?
You know why they ended the show like that?
Why? Weren't they doing Star Wars?
It was because of Star Wars. We have come full circle.
They were
man,
doing
that
Star
makes me hate
Wars.
Star Wars so much fucking more. Because basically the whole idea is they wanted to do 3 more seasons. And they easily could have, right? Like the hype was there. They could have dragged it on for longer. Because what they wanted to do is they wanted to take Daenerys and they wanted her to bring her to King's Landing and take over King's Landing and rule as a benevolent despot, and then slowly revert back to like her Targaryen ancestry and become just this dictatorial ruler burning everyone. Like they wanted her to become that towards the end. But a lot of these people were getting that nice Disney money. We're asking to be like a lot of the writers and staff were getting that nice Disney money, being asked to make Star Wars projects. They're like, well, we'll rush this along so we can start making Star Wars shit.
Which, by the way, never happened.
Exactly.
Right.
And it completely ruined Game of Thrones, which is a fucking tragedy because, again, what that show did for its first 5 seasons is transcendental.
It's like, you know, they kind of ended here, but it's kind of like Breaking Bad or, you know.
Breaking Bad had a great ending, though.
Great. Oh, well, yeah, Breaking Bad had a great ending, but, like, I mean, like, that show kind of like was Breaking Bad. For
Oh, it captured the zeitgeist.
Captured the zeitgeist, kind of there's a moment in time where people were sat at the TV watching Breaking Bad.
It captured
Game
the
of
whole
Thrones.
world, yeah.
Or, sadly, Stranger Things. Let's talk about shows with bad endings. But we'll move on to my last thing.
Please.
It is my favorite movie of all time. Of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time. And some of you will be shocked. It's Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. Back to the Future.
Back to the Future is so fucking good. I love that movie so much. And it's funny because, like, I bring up Back to the Future because it is a time capsule 10 years before even Everything Everywhere. You know, or 15, right? I was 5, 10 maybe. A little inside baseball for me. I didn't live in America my entire life. Yes, I have a very pronounced American accent. I obviously speak perfect English. Not perfect English. As perfect as the American education system will allow me.
You have your moments, Evan.
Yeah, that's fair. Very much I get moments where I'm like, ESL, right? English second language. But, it's a movie that particularly captures my brain because I was like 5 or 6. And I remember watching it for the first time and being transfixed on making movies, on how they were made, how they got done, how you get enough people to agree on a vision to make that work. And don't get me wrong, the plot and the time travel rules in Back to the Future are paper thin. As soon as you start questioning it, it becomes worse. But, like, it doesn't bother me for some reason. As soon as somebody's like, oh, why does Back to the Future do this? And I'm like, I don't care. I still love that movie. Like, it still holds this place in my heart that helped me want to become an artist and creative, right? Nothing has ever done it like Back to the Future's done it. The cast is fantastic. The music's obviously incredible. Robert Zemeckis knew how to direct it with his life. I think it's Ivan Reitman. Robert Zemeckis, I can't remember. Anyways, Christopher Lloyd, fuck, dude, like, nothing defines the 80s more than Back to the Future does, and I love fucking 80s shit.
It's the definition of 80s camp.
It is.
It is just the definition of it. I remember watching Back to the Future when I was like 14, right? Like it was awesome, right? I was like, this is fun, so fucking cool. I had such a good time with it. It's just it's the definition of a fun 80s movie.
Right.
Like, and like my parents grew up then, so like of course like there was a point where I watched Star Wars and I watched Indiana Jones and I watched Back to the Future. The one that they really got me excited for was Rocky. If I'm gonna pick any like 80s camp movie to be like, that's my one, it'd be Rocky.
Rocky's so good.
Rocky
The first
just fucks.
few Rockies are good, and then they kind of die down. Then they come back with Creed.
And they come back. I still haven't seen Creed 2.
I still haven't read it either.
I
haven't seen
Creed
Creed 3.
There's a third one?
Yeah, it's directed by Michael B.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's very cool because like he did some shots that are very anime inspired because he's a Naruto fan. And,
that doesn't shock me.
It does not shock me either that he's like a nerdy weeby boo. But no, Back to the Future holds a special place in my heart. It can never leave, right? Because just how it is done, how the story of it being made is also intriguing because they went to studio, being like, yeah, it's a movie about a kid who went back in time and almost fucked his mom, right? Like, how do you pitch that to a studio? So the fact that it got made is a miracle. The fact that it is as good as it is, it stands this much of the test of time in such a bottle cap of its era. You know, like it's there. It's always gonna be 1985. It's always gonna be 1955. It's always gonna be 1885, right? Like those time frames are always gonna never change. It's always gonna be 2015, right? Like yes, we have lived long past the era of flying cars and Jaws 13 or whatever, right? Like that they depicted in the 2015 of Back to the Future 2. But it still holds up. It's still entertaining. You still watch it, you're like, haha, look at them. Like they think they're gonna have flying cars by 2015. It's 2026 and I still don't have health insurance. Fuck me. Right? That's why Back to the Future is just so good because it just stands up, and it's a movie I come back to very frequently because it releases endorphins in my brain, and I'm just transported to Marty's block in, I don't want to say it's San Dimas, but that's Bill and Ted. But yeah, Back to the Future is my favorite movie of all time. It is the definition of an Evan thing. Right? Like, if you're going to watch something that is an Evan thing, it's Back to the Future. So, yeah, I'm going to end it on that one. I have a couple of honor mentions later, but
we'll get there. I'm happy we're ending on this one. And I saved this one for last, because this one is very much for both of us.
Okay.
So, this show has been a part of my life for almost all of it.
I think I know what it is.
And I'll never forget, I was setting up a D&D session that was not going to happen, and we were all talking, we were just talking bullshit, and somebody said something about the show, and one of my buddies was like, I've never seen it, and we all just looked at him like, excuse me? Right? I usually don't like to be like that. I usually don't like to be that guy, because I hate people like that. They're like, dude, you haven't seen the movie, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, I hate people like that. Like, shut up, dude. Like, I'm not obsessed or hyper-fixated on movies like you, but for being in your 20s and never seeing this is just crazy to me because it felt like every single person over the age of 19 has watched this thing. And not has just watched this, but has something to say about it. And I don't even need to say it. It's fucking Avatar.
It's right? The Last Airbender.
Yeah, it's Avatar The Last Airbender.
Not the blue people.
Not the Smurf thing. Not Smurf Pocahontas.
That's the worst movie I watched last year. Or this year, I think. I can't remember when the last one came out. That movie's so bad.
I have a Blu-ray of that movie for some reason. I have no idea where it came from.
It's funny because my girlfriend was like, we were at VStock or something. She's like, oh, you want to buy Avatar? I was like, oh, fuck no, I don't. I was at it for free.
But The Last Airbender, I watched Avatar The Last Airbender for the first time when I was probably 8. And I remember I watched most of it through Nicktoons recaps, right? Of just because Nicktoons, they'd have the rewatches, and I watched it in pieces as it was collected on my DVR. Did you have a DVR?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I'm sure you remember that piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
I
DVR'd every episode, so.
As it collected random episodes over and over again, I watched The Great Divide so many fucking times. And I remember I sat down and watched the whole thing through for the first time when I was 16. And every single time I have watched Avatar, I've taken more from it. I don't know how you made a show that deep and that just so much there for kids. It's it feels like something that shouldn't have happened.
What's crazy about that show is on not just for kids, but on fucking Nickelodeon.
On fucking Nickelodeon, no less.
On the same channel with SpongeBob.
It was,
which is arguably the reason why we're as dumb as we are. You
literally,
know?
this is sandwiched in between Rugrats and Jimmy Neutron, right? Like that's what we're talking about here, and it's a show that it has so much to say about the human condition, about the wider world. The best way I could describe Avatar is that it's a deep, intrinsic set of lessons, right, that are deeply written into the world, into the characters, and into the actions of the show that basically give you deep guidance on how to live your life, right? Like, there's going to be a video that goes up soon for the channel, and it's going to be the first episode in a series that I'm going to do more of, and I'm not talking about perfect episodes of TV. The first one I did was on Avatar, right? And, like, that episode is insane, right? It's creating this police state within a kid's show, right? Talking about the ways in which the government keeps the people quiet, keeps them under their heel. And I'm like, this is a TVY7 rating, right? Like, we are not talking about the depravity of a police state on Nickelodeon, right? But it serves a purpose, right? Because now we're growing up. Now we see the tools and the strategies that governments can use to manipulate and lie to people to control them. And it gives us these lessons that we can apply to the wider world. And it's more than that, right? I think, like, one of the biggest lessons of Avatar is to not continue the cycle of violence, right?
Right.
Spoilers for Avatar. If you have not seen Avatar, go watch Avatar. God damn. Go watch Avatar.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
So
it's 60 episodes. You can do it in a week. Go watch Avatar. But, like, there's been a lot said about Aang's decision at the end of Avatar. There's a lot of people who don't like it, right? About him finding the lion turtle and learning spirit bending to not kill Ozai. But the central core of the message is that Aang refuses to continue the cycle of violence. He knows that Ozai deserves to die. That Ozai has killed thousands, millions of people, right? And he doesn't care, and he will continue to do it until he dies. He knows that. But he finds a way to punish Ozai for his mistakes and transgressions without killing him, right? And again, there's so many moments in Avatar when it's, we will not, continuing the cycle of violence does not make you a better person. If anything, it makes you just as bad as the people that you ended. Right? That is a big central tenet of Avatar and the message it tries to impart on you. And it has so many other messages than that. I think one of the biggest lessons, and this is the other thing too with Avatar, every time we're rewatching Avatar with that homie that we all looked at, like, dude, how we know watch Avatar? We're watching it with him right now. We might watch it with him tonight. But the biggest thing I've gotten from Avatar this season is how fucking awesome of a character Sokka is. I think that's the biggest thing. And, like, especially in an environment, like, I'm going to say something about the wider world here. I'm going to be a little societal for a second.
Oh, lovely.
Especially in a world that feels obsessed with toxicity, right? Sokka kind of stands apart to be someone who expresses positive masculinity, right?
Especially something that, because we're at the part in the third season here, when our rewatch, where, like, he really has come into his own.
We just watched Sokka's Master.
Sokka's Master's fucking sick. It's one of my favorite episodes of the series.
Underrated episode.
It's one of my favorites, but, like, Sokka is a character who changes so much. People talk about the Zuko, story.
And it's amazing.
Right? It is awesome. We can't lie to that. Like, when people say Zuko's story is the best story of that, I can't blame them for thinking that. It's fucking awesome.
But it kind of overshadows Sokka's story.
Yeah, it overshadows Sokka. And as much as I fucking hate her,
Katara
and Aang, and, like, these are all great characters too. Let's not deny that. Like, After the Last Airbender does this thing that no other show has ever done. It's my favorite show of all time. It is able to make every character stand out immensely and have arcs and grow, except for the ones that don't need to grow. Like Iroh and stuff like that. They are pillars that the characters will go to when they need guidance. That's what Iroh is there for. But he still has moments of character. Like, my favorite episode of that series is Tales of Ba Sing Se, where you get the episode where Iroh goes to the tree and he Leaves from the Vine,
Hold on
shit
one
like that.
second.
Yeah, pull that down. Pull this shit down.
Oh, I can't. It's stuck on the wall. But I have a painting of that. I don't want to damage it because it just stuck to the wall. Because I can't attach these walls. But
walls.
this wall's fucking suck.
There might be a day where we put a community post up or something about the sound padding on the wall.
Thank God they can't see that. I'm gonna put like a flag or something or a tapestry or something over that eventually.
It's hilarious.
No, yeah, Avatar. It's just like, it's again like with Sokka, where like Sokka learns that that anyone can be a warrior, that anyone can fight for what they believe in, that anyone can stand up to oppression. Right.
Right.
That's Sokka's core lesson that he takes. Right.
And it's not necessarily always about violence either. I think a lot of Sokka's inventions in the show are all practical things that like inevitably don't kill. And a lot of his sword fights, he's obviously, it's a kid show, he's not killing anybody, but like he chooses a weapon that's so abruptly a weapon, but uses it strictly for defense and helping lead the charge and inspiring people, like Avatar: The Last Airbender. These are just things. That's why this show is so fucking good, and this is why it's my favorite show of all time. It just does these things instinctively that make you think about it way more.
And again, I think of generational fiction sometimes, and I think some people would say Gen Z's generational fiction. This could be a podcast idea at some point.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Would be MCU, but to me, I think the one that's prevailed is Avatar. Right, I think that's like the generational fiction from our generation that has prevailed.
Look, I love cape shit, but the MCU, and we could probably do a video about the MCU too, but like, what's generational about the MCU is the fact that like, it makes people want to have bigger universes and create these stories and shit like that, right? What's more inspirational to me is when they create stories that span the test of time. And Avatar: The Last Airbender does that better than almost anything.
Avatar is 20 years old, and there's so many 20-somethings like ourselves and they're still talking about it to this day. They're still obsessing over it. There's an entire YouTube channel which I recommend that you guys check out that I love called Overanalyzing Avatar, where this guy literally just goes and he breaks down every single episode of Avatar and Korra to like its bones, talking about everything, its creation, every single element of it, because that is the way that the internet and just the zeitgeist and just like our generation was captured by Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's something that I haven't really seen anything capture so many people the way that Avatar did and hold them to it, right? This is a 60 episode show that has continued to obsess over people 20 years later.
It's funny because there's very few shows that kind of stand up against it, especially in that like kind of like pseudo anime vein that like stand up against it, like your Teen Titans or whatever. But like those are like one of a few shows that do that, like Avatar: The Last Airbender is the millennial show for me.
Yes,
it like
is. To me too.
Like I love regular show. Guys are gonna eventually see a video about Mark Hamill because I'm gonna be doing you guys. Who's that VA? Right.
Adventure Time as well.
Like, it's just, these are generational shows, yes, and they kind of speak a lot about us as people. Like, that's an honorable mention is regular show. Like, it is definitely a show that
that was an honorable mention for you?
Oh, 100%. Easily. Like, like, if you're thinking about things that, like, define us, or define me, definitely regular show, but, like, Avatar: The Last Airbender does something completely different, and will always be completely different than everything else, especially since it is a kid show on Nickelodeon between episodes of Drake and Josh
and
and iCarly, exactly, and like it just does it different, and nothing else will touch it.
Nothing else will, and it's just like, and rewatching it now is just like, I love rewatching Avatar because every time I come back to Avatar, I think there's very few things from my childhood. And this is something that, like, I think a lot of people don't accept of themselves. Because I think people don't struggle to separate being young from the media they experienced, right? And for me, I go back and I try to enjoy the things I enjoyed as kids, and I'm like, this sucks, right? There's so much stuff from my childhood. I'm like, I try to play it, I try to watch it, I try to listen to it. I'm like,
Listen, I tried rewatching Over the Hedge. That movie's bad.
Like, I bought this stupid ass. Is it up here? It's right there. Because I played this game as a kid. Nick Tomb Gloves. This game sucks. This game's terrible.
Bad. I could probably find a couple bad ones on here that we.
Oh, there's so many bad games in here. Are you kidding me? I have an Adventure Time game over here.
For real. Or, Kingdom Hearts.
Or, Kingdom Hearts. Or Took Thunder.
Or Kinetica.
Kinetic. I bought the game for free, dude.
It's still fun. It's fine.
It's still fun. But anyway, Avatar is just like, it's something that I don't think we're ever gonna see again, and like
they're gonna try to touch it. They kind of get to the movie a little bit here. I know you probably haven't watched it.
I have not seen the movie.
I did not watch the movie. Anyway,
no,
but they're gonna milk that, and it kind of sucks. But Avatar: The Last Airbender, I'm so glad that people are kind of trying to give it its flowers again.
People are always giving Avatar its flowers, and it always deserves it eternally.
100%. It's just so fucking good. To kind of wrap that up for me is like, it's just fucking perfect. And it definitely defined a part of my life too. So
and that's why I wanted to bring it up, because it was so much a part of me, and I'm like, I feel like I have to talk about Avatar, because, was that going to be one of your honorable mentions? Or
100%. Avatar, regular show, kind of going into the honorable mentions. Trying to think of what else. The Black Parade is actually up there too. A couple of other things. I mean, I could always bring up Breaking Bad and other shows like that. Beef. If you haven't seen Beef,
you told me to watch Beef.
Beef is so fucking good. Stephen Yeun, oh my god, I can watch him do anything. He's so fucking good. But it's just, these 5 things particularly define who I am and parts of my life and phases and things like that are important to me. My love for pop punk comes from Don't Panic. My love for film comes from Back to the Future, only strengthened by Superman, it's a person I want to be like, to kind of wrap things up for me. These are just important things, who I want to be, who I learn from, and what I want to become, So.
You clearly put more thought in this than I did, because this is something you did just hit me up about a few days ago. Like, hey, you want to do this? I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, 100%. I thought about it a lot.
But I guess this for me is just when I think of the things that influenced my taste, when I think of the things that kind of when I'm talking about other projects and other things, and the things that kind of fall back on, right? When I'm talking about characters and I'm talking about well-written characters and well-created universes and world building and all that, I come back to Game of Thrones and I come back to Avatar. When I'm talking about where my taste of music comes from and where I start with music, I talk about Boston. And when I talk about the big evolution of my taste, I talk about Hypochondriac.
Right.
And when I talk about way too damn much, it's fucking Star Wars.
It's the once an episode Star Wars rant,
Every time.
We do it I think it's every podcast.
Every podcast. We found a way to talk about fucking Star Wars.
Yeah, we found a way to talk about Star Wars in the Mall one. We found a way to talk about Star Wars in the last episode, which was the State of Play and stuff.
Well, there was cool Star Wars games.
That's cool Star Wars games, guys. I forgot we talked about Mall on that first podcast episode. And we've, of course, found a way to talk about Star Wars here. But, I've known you to be transparent, I've known you for about 2 years now, almost. And obviously we've become very quick friends.
Yes.
These things define you. And these are things, when you bring it up, it's like, oh, of course this is it. Of course this is Nick.
Yeah.
You bring up Game of Thrones, I'm like, oh my god, that's so Nick. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Or, you talk about Boston, and I'm like, it's not something we kind of touch on a whole lot, that classic rock love you have, but it's something that comes up every once in a while, because you'll be in my car and all of a sudden I'm playing fucking More to the Feeling, or oh god, what are some fucking weird songs?
Off an album, or just
or things that you find in my car.
Oh yeah, like all the time, like, especially like pop punk stuff and all that.
You know,
I didn't really touch on that. Like again, if I was to do an honorable mention, I would probably talk about like, because I have that connection with all that emo shit too. I would probably talk about like Under the Cork Tree and how like
A Fever You Kids What Out.
The first time I fell in, this is gonna sound so corny.
No,
right?
that's fine.
It was so corny. The first time I fell in love, I obsessed over Under the Cork Tree, and I listened to it every single night when I was frantically crushing on a girl from work. Don't do that.
It's okay. Do you want to know what happened the first time I fell in love?
What?
I, on repeat, listened to Hey There Delilah.
Hey there, Delilah.
What's it like in New York City?
That's how old were you?
I was like 13 or 14.
That's hilarious.
Like my first girlfriend, I'm like, oh my god, I really like this girl. Hey there, Delilah. I want to learn how to sing. Kind of like why I maybe am infatuated with voices. It's because I wanted to learn how to sing. So I learned how to sing from Hey There, Delilah. Like, oh god, it's cringy as shit. But no, it happens, you know? And it's, I like talking about the things that influence us because, and this is particularly where like this idea is going to kind of coalesce into the funnel that the end of the episode is going to end up here. But it kind of speaks to how we are made. You know, you were raised on classic rock, but then you were shown Star Wars and suddenly your world explodes. You were shown Avatar and your world suddenly explodes again. Then it goes into Game of Thrones, your world explodes again. You're shown Hypochondriac, fucking your world explodes again. You know, like, I like these points because, like, it's kind of like, I guess to go back to some cape shit, it's a canon event.
It's a canon event.
It's a canon event in the Nick timeline, you know, like, you're going to fall in love with Boston. You're going to fall in love with Star Wars. You're going to fall in love with Game of Thrones. You're going to fall in love with Hypochondriac. It's the same thing with me, you know, Back to the Future, then Don't Panic, then Everything Everywhere, then Superman, you know, like, and don't get me wrong, Superman is one of those things where, like, I love Superman back when I was a kid, but nowadays I've fell in love with him, you know, like, I just like these things because it speaks to who we are as people, you know, as individuals, and I think that's just neat, you know?
It is neat. There's other pieces of media too that like I could definitely talk about. This is a weird one, and I almost brought this up as one of my 5, but I was like, maybe not.
Yeah, I had a couple of those where I'm like, I don't know.
I kind of settled on those subjects. I'm like, yeah, that's very me. I almost said Horizon Zero Dawn. I was that close,
right,
to talking about Horizon Zero Dawn because I remember being so captured by that game and its world and its universe, especially being a new IP and how unique it felt. Like, it was kind of a subversion of the idea, because that game came out, was first announced in the middle of the teenage dystopia craze, right? But it kind of takes that idea and it's like, we're going to take the dystopia, we're going to take 1,000 years into the future, and we're going to unravel this mystery from a tribal point of view, and you still have your classic teenage heroine, but it's different, right? It kind of subverts that expectation, and like, I almost talked about it, but I pulled it back, and I was like, because again, if I was going to talk about video games, I was talking about Uncharted 4. I said my piece with Uncharted 4 as of so far, right? But like, there's other stuff I could talk about, but I did kind of settle on those 5, right? And I think those are probably the 5 that were for me.
The only thing I would take out maybe now is maybe Halo Reach for me. So like, I love Reach. It's one of my favorite games of all time, but like, what do I substitute in? Probably Minecraft. So like, you know, eventually I'm going to do a video about Minecraft. I know I will, because I know there's going to be a time where Minecraft's going to piss me off. You know what I mean? And I'm going to yearn for the old days, because I was a alpha player, right? Like, pre-alpha. I was playing the fucking, you know, when the Steve model went... it looked terrible. Like, I played Minecraft then, like, and I yearned for the days of the 360 Minecraft days. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, shit.
You know, like, and like, these are things that like we could continue to talk about and like dissect and like pull apart in our timeline of things, you know, like, and how it's made us grow and all that. But like, you know, we have like an hour and a half of podcast that we can do, right? But that's why I like this concept, and that's kind of why I brought it up.
And this is kind of like, we're still getting moving. We have, 24 subscribers right now?
Right, like
and
now.
This is kind of like an introduction to, what we love and kind of, the direction of things that we're going to talk about, right? Like, these are the stuff that we love. Obviously, Evan is more of a Can I say cinephile?
That's fine. The cinephile is almost a slur at this point. But
I thought you were gonna say that. Again, I'm not of that universe, right? Is that like you calling me a gamer, right? Like it's almost a slur.
And for you, it's gamer with a G-A-Y.
Well, I mean, I am.
And look, to kind of get us together here, because we both are the closest friends that we can, at least at this point, I'd say. This is where our Venn diagrams connect, and this is where War Productions is right there in the middle, right? So, it's your love of gaming and my love of, film, but we also meet in the middle because we both love it, and we both love both of those things, and we are passionate, and we want to continue making great stuff, So, with that being said, do you have anything else you want to kind of bring up?
No, I think that's it for me.
Well, thank you guys for listening to us ramble for an hour and a half or whatever how long this is. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. It's been great. If you're here at the end, comment below about some things that you guys love and kind of define who you are. You don't have to go into super huge detail, but we'd love to hear it. We'd love some engagement and love some comments. And if you want to share this with some friends, that'd be great too. So, with that being said, I'm Evan.
And I'm Nick.
Thank you for watching.
Have a great night.